Ladies and gentlemen, the next Nintendo console is highly anticipated, and we're all speculating what kind of features will this thing have. And today we have a major update that is a major insight into this next console, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So I had this weird feeling that as we get closer to June, we're going to start getting more and more details about this next Nintendo console, and that kind of seems like it's the case. Today we have a major update and a look into the Switch 2. Before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, it would truly mean the world to me. We're getting very close to 9,000 subscribers. I know, in the grand scheme of things, to bigger YouTubers, that means nothing. But to me, your support means everything, so thank you so much. And let's just go ahead and get right into this video. Nintendo Switch 2 is larger than the Switch and features magnetic Joy-Cons. A new report published by Spanish outlet Vandal has now allegedly revealed new details of the upcoming console. So, I cover a bunch of Switch 2 leaks. One of the most reliable and credible sources is leakers in Spain. And I think there is a game publishing company out there, a game developer, and it was rumored that they had Switch 2 dev kits, maybe last September. So when I see stuff coming out of Spain, it's one of the few places where I'm like, okay, we actually might have something here. Claiming to receive information on the Nintendo Switch 2 from accessory manufacturers, the report says the console is going to be larger in size than the current Switch, though smaller than the Steam Deck. This aligns with the reports that had previously claimed that the Switch 2 will launch with an 8-inch LCD screen. I seen another leak, and this was from directly screen manufacturers, maybe Samsung or something, saying that they're also working on an OLED screen. So I think the Switch 2 will launch with an LCD screen and an OLED screen. So maybe an all digital version and maybe a version that takes actual game cartridges, but we'll see how that plays out, right? Though the Switch 2's form factor will be largely similar in its hybrid nature and detachable Joy-Cons to that of its predecessor, the Joy-Cons themselves would take a slightly different form. Rather than slotting into the console with rails as they do into the current Switch, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons will allegedly be attached to the console magnetically. The report claims that this means the next-gen console won't feature compatibility with the current Switch Joy-Cons. And no shit! The new ones are magnetic, and the old ones are a rail system, so it's impossible for them to be compatible. I'm a YouTuber, I get it, stretch it out as long as you can, but this is literally information that nobody needs to know, that's common sense. Let me tell you another secret. Did you know in Africa, every single minute, 60 seconds pass? I know, that's crazy. It will be compatible with the Switch Pro controller. That's pretty cool. I wonder if all the Bluetooth features will be the same then. And then also, I wonder if Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons will be compatible, but not attached. If you can hold them in your hand or attach them to this thing right here, will this be compatible with the Switch 2? I'm very curious. The report further adds that there is still no confirmation about whether or not backwards compatibility will be supported. Earlier leaks said that digital and physical games will be. I think that's almost an impossible feat, unless it's something like the DS to the 3DS. But if I was Nintendo, what I would do is just make certain games backwards compatible and then offer certain games like a next-gen update or something like that. As per Vandal, the Switch 2 is targeting release sometime in early 2025. It's claimed that the hardware itself is ready to hit shelves. Nintendo is holding back the launch to have a stronger lineup of games upon release. Yeah, the Switch only had 10 games upon release. You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was looking at the release games for the Switch, and those 10 games, I was wondering why they picked those 10 games specifically, and it was basically a tech demo. And then I thought, that's normally what launch games are for systems. They are to show off what the system can do. So out of the 10 games that launched for the Switch, or maybe it was 8, but almost half of them utilized motion controls, and they were really pushing that. They were trying to say, look, the Switch is like the Wii basically. And they thought maybe that was going to be a big selling point, but we know that people just want to play good games and they want to be able to play them on the go. Out of the entire time that I've had my Nintendo Switch, I got it in 2018. I've upgraded to the Switch OLED and a couple other Switches, but I've probably played my Switch docked to a TV, maybe, if I'm lucky, 10 times. That's crazy. It's almost been 6 years, and I've played my Switch docked 10 times. I've played it with a little kickstand up, probably 20 or 30 times, but I just play handheld, you know what I mean? So I cover a bunch of gaming leagues, and I remember last year seeing something about the Switch having magnetic Joy-Cons, looking up a patent, and I mentioned it probably the beginning of this year, and somebody told me I was crazy and that would never work. So I went back and I digged a little bit, and I found the actual patent of the magnetic Joy-Cons. So this magnetic Joy-Con thing, I 100% think is true. Here's the actual patent, and as you can see, this was published September 7th, 2023, and it was filed in May. If they filed this in May and they thought the Switch 2 was going to launch in 2024, then this all lines up perfectly. This was filed in May, this was published in September. September is when the Switch 2 dev kits were rumored to have been out. But this was all the way back in September. So I think some of those leaks that we've seen last year were probably true. Magnetic Joy-Cons, I think that's great. I don't have it anymore because I finally got some new Joy-Cons. I finally got a new pair. These things are $80. So crazy. I kept getting used Joy-Cons from gaming stores for like 30 or 40 bucks. I was like, you know what? Instead of doing this, I'm just gonna shell out the money and get some new ones. I really like this color. Brand new, so I should be able to use these for a long time. But the problem I had with my previous Joy-Cons, I had the Skyward Sword ones, this thing just popped off. It would just slide off. Like it would click on. Let's see if we can hear it click. It would click on like that, but you could just use your finger like this and push it. So I think the magnetic Joy-Cons is, I think it's really going to help. It's going to help the durability of the Joy-Cons. It's going to make them last a lot longer. I'm glad that they're going to stick with Joy-Cons. I like that name. The Joy-Con name, Joy-Con is a brand. And I like that little clicking noise, you know, when you slide on your Joy-Con. Let's see if we can hear it. I was playing Metroid Prime Remastered, but listen to this click. That noise right there. I love that. So I wonder what the next sound will be for the next Joy-Cons when they click on magnetically. What will it sound like? Probably like some weird like noise or something. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a major update and a major look into the next Nintendo console. I think we're going to start getting a lot more information about this next console. Down below, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Have you ever had a problem with your Joy-Cons? I'd love to hear from you guys. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you could. It would mean the world to me. We're growing on both platforms, and that's awesome. We're finally kind of getting recognized as a real gaming channel and a real community. So follow me on both platforms, and you guys know me. I'll see you soon with a new video. Peace out.